Alright guys, well on today's episode we're going to be pulling the engine out of my 95 FZR600. Bought this bike 2 weeks ago. Ran great when I picked it up. Took it on a 5-hour ride last Saturday. Bike run good, been running great. Decided since it's a nice day that I'd ride it to work. Rode 50 minutes almost to work and was going up the road and downshifted, and the motor went pop and went to running on 3 cylinders. So got somebody to load the bike up, take me back home this afternoon. Pulled the number 2 spark plug and no compression. So either it has melted a hole in the piston, has somehow broke the rings, which I highly doubt, or somehow dropped a valve, which I also highly doubt. But I'm going to tear the motor down. As you can see, I had to take this fairing off, that way I could get to the plug. But tear the motor down, we'll pull it out, tear it down, and figure out what happened to it. So here Dad had came by to look and see what all I was doing, and we decided to go ahead and pull the valve cover off and check and just make sure there's nothing you could see, which I kind of knew there wasn't because it's overhead cams with tappets. But we pulled the valve covers off and got down and got to where we could put a screwdriver down in the spark plug hole, and found out here that there was no movement from the piston. Well, there we are, engine out of the bike. Wasn't too terribly bad. Yamaha was nice enough to make the frame come off on both sides. So it's just unplugging everything, pull your lower frames out, pull your 2 motor mount bolts out, and it just drops right down. Really super simple to do. So now I'm tearing this thing, clean it up because it is nasty. Pull the head off, see if the piston's still there or not, and start rebuilding it. Okay, well, head looks good. I see no issues there. Crap. What was I losing? I don't know. As long as I didn't lose my tappies. Okay. Piston's still there, so I didn't eat a pit. There's a lot of debris, but the piston and the cylinder walls still look fine at the moment. So let's get the coolant tube off, get the jug off, and see what else there is to reveal. How did it not make a noise? I don't understand. How did it not make a noise? I mean, it should have rattled. You see the problem? She is stuck. Oh, we are missing a good chunk of rod somewhere. Wild. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Well, there it is, all tore apart. Everything's a mess. I know, I'm terrible at organizing. Good news, it did not hurt the crank at all. It had a little bit of scarring right there on the top of the counterweight where it hit. But other than that, crank looks good. Head looks good. 3 of the pistons are still good. Here's the damage. Nice 3-piece connecting rod that somehow bent into a U. I still don't understand how I did not hear it knocking. I don't know which, doing that it wouldn't have knocked until afterwards, and where it broke the rod so short. I don't know. It, like I said, I downshifted, got on throttle a little more, it went pop, and that was the only noise it made. Bad news is it ruined the bottom of the jug. So, jug's gonna have to be replaced. Let's see. It scarred this up a little bit and this, but nothing that's gonna cause any issue in the future. And then on the lower case, it scratched it a little right there and busted this corner out. So I've got another lower case. If I want to use it, I may just finish breaking that sliver off and put it back together like it is. I'm gonna talk with my dad about it and see what he thinks is the best option, because he used to be a full-time motorcycle mechanic. But overall, everything besides that connecting rod is not too bad. I've got another head, I got another jug, and I got 4 other pistons and rods that came out of another FZR that I had that I'm building a special engine for it. So hopefully I can get it all back together and have it rebuilt and running here in the next day or so.